All right, shalom, y'all. Y'all check this one out, man. This is a good one for our sisters to understand the mindset that they've been placed under by our enemies. All right. First of all, to understand that you've been messed up, you got to understand you got enemies out here. And you got to understand that you the children of Israel. So when you understand these things, you know that that comes with people that's going to hate you. And they going to hate your people, your kind. Your baby just pop out the womb. They hate your baby. You got to understand you have enemies. If you don't know you have enemies, you are in trouble because the enemy, you in a war that you not fighting back or defending yourself. And on top of that, you leaving the protection that you do have. But I want y'all to hear what this sister got to say about how they switch the roles around and how they making our sisters think that they are empowered right now. But the whole time it's something that's being given to them by the so-called white man.
He can decide who's going to work and who's not going to work. So he's chosen the black woman to work, but we think we have arrived.
All right, that's the first thing. You're not just getting these jobs because you're qualified for these jobs or more qualified than brothers for these jobs. You getting these jobs so they can turn our house upside down. They can turn our whole household upside down and where the woman is in power. That's the reason why Esau does everything he can to put the jobs in the hands of our sisters and not in the hands of our brothers. That's the reason why sisters working everywhere, but you hardly see brothers when you go to places like public places or jobs. You know, just normal places you see out like Lowe's, Home Depot. It's a miracle when you see a brother working at Home Depot. And you would think that would be a place where men work. Now it's filled with sisters. But they think they have arrived. Oh, I can get it. Why you can't get it? They don't understand our enemies have set it up like that to where you can't be controlled, to where you feel like you're in a position of power, in a power seat. But let's carry on.
Somehow we have misinterpreted that woman to work. He can decide who's going to work and who's not going to work. So he's chosen the black woman to work, but we think we have arrived. Somehow we have misinterpreted that. We think because we got the jobs and we the money, we all that. It's a false sense of power.
A false sense of power. Just not understanding where this stuff is coming from, not understanding how family works, not understanding how God works, throwing everything out the window just to keep the position of power, to see the power in your house. Knowing God say that the man is the head of the household, you will, well, what if I make more money than him? The exact words from my own mother. The exact words from my own mother. She said that to me when I told her that she was not in charge of her house, that her husband was in charge of her house. This is what's going on. It's everywhere. It's not just with my moms. It's with everybody, moms out here, everybody aunties, everybody sisters, everybody daughters out here is thinking the same, that they take this little money that the white man give them and now they better than they man. They better than they husband. And this is one of the most destroying things to our community. This is one of the most dangerous things to our community because we cannot raise children with the mother and father that's out of order. What's going to happen? The children going to raise up out of order. It's automatic. It happens automatically, and our sisters don't want to change it because they've been given power. And they think that they earned this power, or they think that they deserve this power, not understanding that the devil gave them this power in order to turn their household upside down and have them thinking that they don't need a man. Let's carry on.
Misinterpreted that. We think because we got the jobs and we the money, we all that. It's a false sense of power. strutting our power around in front of our men, making them pull back from us. And we wondering why our men are crossing over Chinese, white woman, anything that shows femininity. This is a wicked thing that white people are doing, and we have not yet seen it in its fullness. Shows femininity. White woman, anything that shows femininity.
Anything that shows femininity. This is what men are attracted to, femininity. This is what they have taught y'all to be the opposite of. Anything feminine. They want you to be hard and masculine. And that is the truth of the reason why men, when they get rich, they go and get a woman from another nation. It's because now they have the option to not deal with a headache. They have the option to deal with full-blown submissiveness and femininity, which is what men crave. All right, that's the truth. But everybody want to make it seem like, oh, he's selling out his people, or he hate his own people, he hate his own mama, he hate his own sister. All this garbage that the same sisters that are being left are saying, instead of changing the narrative and actually doing the things that they are doing, seeing that, oh, okay, well, they're more soft-spoken, they're easy to talk to, they're not fighting back, they're not calling them bitch-ass niggas and putting their fingers in his face and trying to belittle him just so they can feel stronger. That they don't have a problem taking the feminine, weaker role. They don't have that problem. Our sisters have that problem, and it's because it's been designed that way. The white man made you that way. He made you hard to where we can't deal with you. And it ain't even about should a man have to deal. No, a man not supposed to have to deal with attitude or hardness from a woman. The woman is supposed to be feminine and submissive in everything. She's not supposed to fight back at all. So when you say a man can't deal with a woman, it's the woman's fault that he can't deal with him because she's not doing what she's supposed to do. It's the same way like if an employer hires an employee and then the employee comes in and they all disrespectful, don't have no respect at all for the order and who's in charge, none of that. And then you say the employer can't deal with her, so he fired her. No, that's not the case. She was not a good employee. She did not understand authority. She did not understand who was in charge. And that is the situation that we have now. Because the white man has taught our sisters that we are not in charge in our own household. That's the reason why they prefer to take the man's position and to try to be in charge. All it does is turn everything upside down. That's it. It don't make you all of a sudden superwoman. No. You talking down on this man, all it does is turn your household upside down. Every time you have an attitude with that child's father, you're not doing nothing but causing a problem for the child, causing confusion for the child. Because now the child don't understand who's in charge, who I'm supposed to listen to. Because you didn't put yourself in a position of power over the father when you can't do nothing that the father can do.
This is a wicked thing that white people are doing, and we have not yet seen it in its fullness. Black women don't.
She said, we ain't seen it in its fullness. Whew. I beg to differ, sis. I mean, it done got so bad to where, our sisters are raising their daughters up. I seen a post the other day where the little girl said to her teacher in class, I want to have 2 kids at such and such age. I think it was like 20 or something like that. And the teacher asked her, or you plan on being married that age? She was like, nah, I don't plan on being married. If I'm married, I can't collect the child support. Like, this is a little kid in class saying this. This is how bad it then got to where we're raising them up to be single mothers, raising them up to be hard-headed, to be ratchet, to be in the club, to be in the streets. We're raising them up that way. We're sitting here twerking in front of our kids, letting our kids do the same thing on camera, and then laughing, talking about, yeah, girl, get it, girl, all that. This is how far we done came. So I don't know what she mean by we ain't seen the end of it. I mean, I do see it's getting worse and worse, though. I definitely feel that.
Know that we're just being completely torn apart and broken down. So we will not have no appeal to this man. He doesn't want another man in the bedroom with him.
There you go. We're being completely torn apart. Yeah, our sisters are being completely torn apart and broken down, so you cannot be attractive to our men. So our men are looking at you and seeing a man. That's the problem. That's the reason why households are breaking up, because it's two men in the house fighting each other, as opposed to one man there and the woman in there submitting and obeying everything as God commands her to do. Ephesians 5:22 through 24. This is commanded by God himself for a woman to obey everything her husband says. This is what it is. But we want to try to ignore what God says and just go with what the white man gave us. Feminism, where the woman can be in charge, where the woman has all of these extra rights, where you have to pay attention to what she says and feels and thinks and all these things over your own thoughts, over how you feel your household should be ran. This was put in our communities. This is not real life. This is not how it's supposed to be. This is what you call satanic behavior. All right, this is not God's will for our households to run this way. God's will shows you clearly that the woman's supposed to be obedient. That means there will be no fighting back. The word submit means to stop fighting. So at some point in time, you have to stop fighting the man and just do what he says. But you've been taught that you are the man. And that's the reason why you can't stop fighting the man, because the position that he have, you trying to jostle for that position. You trying to wrestle him for the position that he have instead of taking your position as a woman in femininity.
Women don't know that we're just in its fullness. Black women don't know that we're just being completely torn apart and broken down. So we will not have no appeal to this man. He doesn't want another man in the bedroom with him. It's role reversal. So now you're working hard. You start feeling like a man. And when you start feeling like a man, all of a sudden you don't need this man that God gave you. You role reverse and you go get a woman. They seeded you for lesbianism. You never chose it. They have been grooming you for over 400 years.
I just wish our sisters understood that. Like, this is not some miracle thing that you done came up with. You've been trained to be this. You've been trained to be a hard-headed, ratchet-ass female. You've been trained to be that. And that's because you have had training from the so-called white man. But you refuse God's training. You refuse your husband's training. And that's the reason why our households are upside down, divorce rate at an all-time high. It's because you refuse God's word. You refuse what God says is the solution to your household, the solution to peace and happiness within your home. You refuse that. Instead, you choose the opposite of what God said, while at the same time saying you have a personal relationship with God. Majority of our sisters are atheists and don't even know it. Because once they hear the roles that God said they're supposed to play and their husband's supposed to play as their Lord, as the Lord over them, as the commander over them, the one that's in charge of them, once they hear these things, a lot of them, they turn straight atheists, man. I'm going to just keep it all the way 100. They straight turn atheists. They act like they believe in God, but the truth is they don't really believe. If they believe, they would change their ways. They would see what God says and they would stop being an asshole to their husband. They would start being a good mother to their child. They'd understand that they're supposed to be in subjection. That's if they actually cared about what God said. But that's when you got to realize that you're dealing with a demon on your hands. If they don't want to stop trying to be this man that America is creating them to be, then you got to understand that they are not going as you would have them, as the scriptures say. You have to leave that alone. You cannot continue to destroy yourself because a woman wants to destroy you and wants to hold you hostage while the white man got the end of the chain. She holding a piece of the chain. The white man got the end, the actual end, where he the one that's actually holding us down. But she over there holding a piece of the chain. Like, yeah, I got you, nigga. You ain't going nowhere. She has absolutely no strength to hold you from going anywhere, hold you from doing anything. But the one that has the strength is sitting in the background, smiling, laughing, while she holding on the front of the chain like she actually in control. That's what we got right now. But again, if you have a righteous woman, you have a woman that actually fear God, she going to change her life. She going to see what God say, and she going to do what God say. She not going to stay in the state of mind while she's screaming black power and all this and Israelite power and all that, but she want to be American married. You want to bring American marriage into an Israelite home. No, you're going to be an Israelite. You're going to be an Israelite all the way. And all throughout the book of the Bible, it shows you a woman in full subjection. That is the only righteous woman. Don't let a woman convince you that she's a righteous woman while she got all that mouth and thinks she know every damn thing and won't listen to nothing you say. That is what you call a wicked woman. Her job is to submit and bend to your will in everything. Do not let her confuse you that she is supposed to be doing anything else. All of that is the white man's doctrine. All that attitude, all that pushback is the white man's doctrine and training. That's all it is. Keep it 100 with these women and stop allowing them to think that they're righteous women and good women. They are not good women if they're not in complete subjection to their husbands. Complete subjection, meaning they don't even fight back when you tell them to do something. They're, okay, yes, sir. Let me go take care of that. Come right on back and finish that, sir. Is there anything else I can do for you? Because that's how a real servant is supposed to act, which you women are to your husbands, according to the Bible. Yes, in everything you're supposed to serve and obey him. But you've been taught, again, to rule over him, and that's the reason why our households are upside down.
Zionism. You never chose it. They have been grooming you for over 400 years so that when you finally make a choice, you will choose to be the man.
So when you finally make a choice, you will choose to be the man. And again, they've done this so you can be unattractive to our men. That is the reason why the men have to go and deal with another woman of another nation, because he's not getting submission from his own women. He's getting talked about like he's a damn dog. He's being talked to like he's nothing. We got this whole culture where the man got to have game and the man got to be able to have money. He got to have chain. He got to have shoes. He got to have all this just to get turned down by a sister. It's amazing because she's going to take everything she can from you and then go move on to the next dude. That's the cycle, the great American adultery cycle that's going on. The woman sees a man. She sees all the things that she likes in him. She gets the man. She changes everything about him. She takes everything she can from him. And then once he's not that dominant masculine man no more because she done turned him into a punk by trying to make him do everything she wants him to do and calling that a good man, now she's like, oh, well, you're not the man who you used to be. You're not the strong, masculine, dominant man you used to be. And that's because she turned him into it. Because she's programmed to make a man her servant. Yes, that's what they programmed you sisters to do, to make men your servants. When the whole time the scriptures is clearly showing you that you're supposed to be servant to the man. Again, that's why it's called role reversal. The one that's the Lord, the one that's in charge, has been put on bottom, and the one that was on the bottom has been put on top. Now it's happy wife, happy life. The woman's always right. Do what the woman says. The little movies that they throw out there at us, where these movie stars is getting paid all this money. Why are they getting paid all this money? Because they keeping the agenda going. Keeping the agenda of the woman being on top and the woman's feelings mattering most. And you better put that woman first. And all the things that's going to keep the feminism going. They have to teach that in order to keep getting that check, in order to make these big movie roles. You're not seeing no movies with women being in full subjection. You're not seeing no commercials with women being in full subjection. When the last time you seen in a movie a woman saying yes sir to a man that wasn't her boss? A white man. When's the last time you seen it? Because a lot of the times we ignore what we're seeing on these movies as far as what's real reality. We ignore the fact that it's impossible for a man to rule his house without having the woman in subjection. We ignore that. We just, oh, it don't matter. You know, he's the head of the household, but she's the brain of the situation. Like, it makes no sense. We've been taught by people, again, that have been paid to play roles, to pretend like a woman is more powerful than what she is. Same thing with the movies with these women fighting men. Well, you'll see her fight 5 men. A woman will fight 5 men and beat all of them up. It's not happening in real life. I don't care who it is. I don't care what woman you put out there. She's not beating up 5 dudes. All right. This is done to keep us in that mindset of the woman being stronger and more powerful than what God made her. She needs all this special effects and all these people falling on the ground and diving off to the side when she swing her little arm. She needs that in order for people to believe that she's strong and she's powerful and all this. The truth is, the woman cannot fight a man whatsoever. She was not built to fight a man. She was only built to submit to a man. We got to come out of the ways of America fully. We can't just come out and say, oh, we're not eating pork no more. Oh, we're not eating shrimp no more. While you still being disrespectful to your husband. You're not being a righteous woman. You're trying to act like you're trying to portray yourself as a righteous woman, but you won't submit. There's nothing righteous about it. You're a pretender. That's what you are. And in these last days, you're getting exposed for who you are. Because it's no more everybody just accepting, oh, she's a strong black woman. Nobody's accepting that no more. We're starting to wake up and realize where the strong black woman mindset came from. It came from our enemies. Our enemies taught you to be that. If y'all get a chance, look up the Willie Lynch letter. There's a Willie Lynch letter. It spells it out clear as day how they destroyed our sisters and how they made our sisters think that they are above the men. This was done on purpose, and the tactics are still being used today. A lot of the tactics of the Willie Lynch letter are still being used today. For instance, the separate them by north, south, east, and west. I mean, how many of us been in our city when we was younger and all we did was claim our side of town, claim our hood where we came from, and then want to fight a brother because he from the other side, because he on the other side of the line, or he in the next apartments over here. All they've done is divided us on every single level to conquer us. And the only way we can come back together is we understand we have to love our brothers as ourselves. That don't mean, that also includes the brothers that's in the other apartments, the brothers that's on the east side or the west side. That includes all of your brothers. Once we do that and we understand that our women are supposed to be in subjection and stop listening to and following our women, then we could do something as far as raising up to being a nation again, a godly nation, a righteous nation. But we have to denounce the ways of the white man. We have to denounce the ways of our enemies. There's no good white man on earth except the ones that are in subjection to us. They have to listen to us. Ephesians 6:5, servants, obey your masters. They are commanded to obey us, not us obey them. Okay? When we obey them, we're in sin. When they obey us, they're in righteousness because we're going to show them what God says. We're going to show them the righteous way to live. We're going to show them how to live their house. How to run their household. Because guess what? They scared to tell their woman what to do. Because in order to bring us down and keep the lie alive, in order to do that, they had to destroy their own people. And now you got their own people can't get their households in order now. Because guess what? Before the Willie Lynch letter, before they had us in slavery, they had their households in order. But again, in order to keep us down, they had to destroy their own people. They have to come back to their true leaders as well, which are the Israelites. If they will not come back to their true leaders, their households gonna continue to be upside down, and they're gonna be in that chain slavery that I always speak about, that the Bible speaks about. I hope y'all got some understanding from this. I hope you sisters understand that you can change, you can repent, but you gotta stop following the white man. You got to. I'll get at y'all later. Shalom.